Hi, first graders. Today we're going to work on lesson 14-6. We're going to continue working with shapes. However, we're going to move from 2D shapes, which were our flat shapes that we worked with last week, to our 3D shapes. Today, our I can statement is, I can define 3D shapes by their number of edges, vertices, and faces, or flat surfaces. Let's take a look at our solve and share question for today. It says, can you find objects in the classroom that are shaped like the objects below? Write the name of each object you find. Now, if we were in school, we would do a shape hunt throughout our classroom. But since we're not at school, you can do a shape hunt in your home. What can you find around your house that matches these shapes below? Can you find a cube, something shaped like a sphere, a cone, a rectangular prism? What about a cylinder? Go ahead and pause if you'd like to go on your shape hunt, and then come back to the video to continue. Let's take a look at some student work. Tanisha went on her shape hunt, and she was able to find the following shapes. For her cube, she found a box. For a sphere, she found a ball. For a cone, she found a party hat. Her rectangular prism, she found a block. And for her cylinder, she found a trash can. These are just some examples of items that we see each day that match our 3D shapes. Let's take a look at our visual learning. How do you define three-dimensional shapes? Let's find out. Last week we worked with two-dimensional shapes, and this week we're moving to three-dimensional shapes. Three-dimensional, or 3D shapes, can be grouped in different ways. What is the name of this shape here? Think your answer. Say your answer. This is a sphere. Our second shape is a rectangular prism. This is a cylinder, our purple shape. Our green shape is a cone, and our yellow shape is a cube. If we think about these two shapes, how is this cylinder different from a cone? What do you notice? A cylinder has two flat surfaces. You see one here, and there's a matching one at back. A cone has only one. The other side comes to a point. What is the shape of the flat surface on a cylinder or a cone? If we were to trace around each surface here, what shape would we make on our page? Is the flat surface a circle or is it a rectangle? Think your answer. Say your answer. Did you guess circle? The flat surface of each of these shapes is a circle. These shapes have edges and vertices. Their flat surfaces are called faces. How are the faces of a rectangular prism different from the flat surfaces of a cylinder? So if you think about your shapes here, this flat surface for the rectangular prism and the flat surface of the cube here, and then we have a flat surface of the cylinder. If we think about the faces of the rectangular prism and we think about the face of the cylinder, how are they different? Remember, a face is the flat surface. How are they different? So on our rectangular prism, we have rectangles for our flat surfaces. On a cylinder, the flat surfaces are circles. So their faces, the flat surfaces, are different shapes. The faces of a cube, which is our blue shape, and a rectangular prism are all rectangles. The cube is a special rectangular prism because it has squares for all of its faces. All of the faces are the same size, while a rectangular prism has some long and some short. How is a sphere different from all of the other 3D shapes? What do you notice about the sphere that you didn't recognize with the other 3D shapes? Okay, we're going to go ahead and do a shape match. I'm going to read some clues. You can guess your answer, and then we'll take a check. So, first, we need to review our vocabulary words. Remember, an edge is the side along the shape. The edges are the sides of the shapes. The vertices, just like with our 2D shapes, are the points, so the corners where the edges meet. And the faces are the flat surfaces of the shape. So our first clue, it has edges, vertices, and faces that are rectangles. Can you think of a shape that matches? Did you guess the rectangular prism? Did you also guess a cube? Remember, a rectangular prism and a cube are very similar. The only thing different about the cube is that all of the faces are squares. They're all equal. Next one. It has two flat surfaces that are circles. So look for the faces that are circles. It has two that are circles. Which shape did you choose? Did you choose a cylinder? It has a circle on top and a circle on the bottom. Next, it has one flat surface that is a circle. Which shape are you choosing? We have a sphere and a cone. Did you guess cone? Good job. Last, it has no flat surfaces, no edges, and no vertices. This is our sphere. The sphere is different from other 3D shapes because it has no flat surfaces, no edges, and no vertices. It's completely round. So again, remember the sphere is different because it is a 3D shape that has no flat surfaces, no edges, and no vertices. Now that you know some ways to define 3D shapes, we're going to continue with our lesson. Let's take a look at Do You Understand box. Show me, do 3D shapes always have either faces, flat surfaces, or vertices? Do they always have one of those features? What do you think? Can you think of a shape that does not have faces, flat surfaces, or vertices? Did you say a sphere? If so, you're correct. Not all 3D shapes have faces, flat surfaces, or vertices. A sphere has none. Spheres do not have faces, flat surfaces, or vertices. Let's take a look at our guided practice. They helped us start number 1 with our rectangular prism. We're going to create a chart that tells us the number of flat surfaces, the number of vertices, which are the corners, and the number of edges, which are the sides. You can see that they've selected 6 for the numbers of flat surfaces, or the faces of the shape. Okay, we have the top and the bottom, that makes 2. The front and the back makes 4, and then side and side makes 6. For the vertices, they've selected 8. You can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 corners on top. We can see 1, 2, 3 on the bottom, but we know that there's a matching corner back here. Opposite of the 4 on top, we have 4 on the bottom to make 8. Okay. And the number of edges is 12. 12 sides or edges on the shape. Okay, we see 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top. There's going to be a matching 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom, which makes 8. And then if you count the short edges along the side, that would be 9, 10. And then on the other side, 11 and 12. Now remember, a rectangular prism and a cube are similar. So a cube and a rectangular prism have the same number of faces, vertices, and edges. So when you're working on counting your cube, think about it in relation to your rectangular prism. It should match. Let's think about our cone here. They're asking first for the number of faces or flat surfaces. Well, a cone has only one flat part on the bottom, and that flat piece is a circle on the bottom. Number of vertices, I count only 1. It comes to a point here. 1 vertice. And my edges are going to be 0. There are no straight sides on the cone. Because of the circle flat surface on the bottom, the cone does not have edges. Now it's your turn to practice. Go ahead, count the number of flat surfaces, the vertices or corners, and the number of edges for these objects: a soccer ball, a block, and a drum. And then you'll work on your higher order thinking and your problem solving to practice more with 3D shapes. Thank you for your careful listening today. Good luck on your work, and tomorrow, tune in for another video, more with 3D shapes. Have a great day, first grade. Thank you.